Okay, we are live. Awesome. Okay,
We're
we are
live.
live. Yay. Welcome
Yeah.
to Divine Farmer Health this Thursday morning. We are delighted that you're here. This is Chris McKee, certified nutritionist, and I have a special guest with us today. We're delighted to have Dali with us, and he's coming from Toronto, right? North of us. And so Dali is a acupuncturist as well, and also a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner. So very similar to Jimmy in his background. And we have a really important topic today. I think this is one of the most important things when I'm working with clients. These are the types of questions I ask them because so much of the time we want a quick fix, like we want to go to the doctor and get our pill, right? We want to go to the nutritionist and get our vitamin or whatever. But there are lifestyle factors that are so important for your health. So, Dali, before we dive into the topic today, I think it'd be really interesting to hear your journey because you're from Serbia. You're in Canada, and you are an acupuncturist and a traditional Chinese medicine doctor. So share with us a little bit on that journey of how you ended up where you are.
Thanks, Chris. I just want to say the pleasure is mine to be on your show and Jimmy's show. And I'm happy to share some knowledge that I gathered over the years with our audience. So my journey into medicine, believe it or not, started when I was even 14. We have different school system back in the Serbia and that part of the world, because I started medical school and that was like a high school. So I start to program for physiotherapist. So I was starting to read about anatomy, physiology, biology when I was basically 14. After that, so I continue and finished college for physiotherapy. And so I was involved into the health quite a while. And I pursued my career, worked in the hospitals back there as a physiotherapist, worked in the basketball club. And in my 30s, I decided that I want more. So I moved to Canada. All right. And when I came here, I came to Vancouver, and it's a big Chinese community in Vancouver, lots of good practitioners. And I was always interested in Chinese medicine, acupuncture, but I didn't have a chance to study that back in Europe. I had some books, reading about that, but, nobody could teach it. There's no schools. And you can travel to China or travel somewhere here. And then I started a 3-year program in Vancouver, and during 3-year program to get license for acupuncture, I fall in love in herbs. Because on the West, when we say Chinese medicine, people usually think about acupuncture, but basically in China, it's more herbs, yeah. In my opinion, yeah. And but then you go deeper. It's not just acupuncture, herbs, or some other modalities, but that's basically it's a lifestyle, yeah. That's why we're going to talk a little bit about food, yeah.
Yeah.
So and here I am now. Finished 5-year program in Vancouver. Worked 1 year live 1 year in Argentina, Buenos Aires. Just had some experience with my family there. Came back here again in Canada, and Nata and I opened the clinic, I think 6 years ago, and we are slowly growing every year. And yeah, so that's our story.
And your wife's name is Natia?
Natasha.
Natasha. Oh,
yeah.
That's my granddaughter's name. I love it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So Natasha is a holistic nutritionist. And so you have a great, well-rounded practice there.
Yes.
And we'll share with the viewers a little bit more about what you offer before we close today. So tell us, what is your topic today?
Okay, so my topic is something related to the lifestyle, food, but I won't talk about what should you eat, when should you eat, and all that stuff. I want to talk about where are you while you are eating. Okay, I know people will say, I'm sitting on the chair. I know physically you're sitting on the chair, hopefully, but where are you here? Because I grew up watching movies, and I like those American movies that portrayed America in the 50s. And it was all about family. And almost in every movie, you would see family sitting, having dinner and talking. And, there was no TVs beside, there was no iPads, there's nothing there. So what you eat is important, of course. But how you eat as well is important. And if you're eating while you're driving, if you're eating while you are on a meeting, Zoom or some other meeting, if you're eating while you're watching something, the physiology is different. So let me give you an example. If you're telling basically your brain you are not eating, you're trying to solve some other problem. So if you're watching something that is very sensational, for example, news are always sensational. This how many people die in airplane in the other part of the world. It's sensations.
Always bad news.
And yeah, of course, that's something. I don't know why is that important for us, but okay, let's not comment that. You are, your mind is there, your emotions are there. So you're telling your brain, listen, I don't feel comfortable because there was a plane crash. So think about this. To digest, first you need to chew, then you need to chew long enough because you want to secrete those amylase first in your mouth, and then food goes down. So in the stomach has functioned, to basically slowly grind the food, but as well to secrete enzymes. And you want that strong hydrochloric acid there to start breaking down proteins. Okay, why I'm telling this? If you are watching something sensational, your mind is there. So you're telling your body, okay, I don't have time now to rest and digest. I got to think about how to deal with this basically problem I have right now.
So your brain is focused on what you're watching, what you're looking at. You're in the sympathetic nervous system mode, which is fight or flight, basically, not the parasympathetic, which is rest and digest.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what happens in the stomach when you're in, what happens in digestion in general, when you're in the sympathetic nervous system mode? What's not working?
Well, basically, it's not optimal. Your digestive enzymes won't be secreted as much as they should. And that's why many people, one of the reasons, okay, this is one of the reasons. That's why many people we have basically epidemic of the indigestion, at least here where I see. I can talk for my clinic for Toronto. I would say 70% of the clients I see, they have some digestive issues, in my opinion, that are pretty easy to fix.
Oh, yeah, I would say definitely here in the US for sure. Millions of people on antacids.
Yes.
Millions of people with IBS and, all that stuff. So I don't think people touched on this a little bit, because I don't think folks think about this when their brain is working on something else and they're trying to eat. What is that as far as the immune system goes when that food is not properly digested? Because it's not going to be properly digested, and it'll probably leave, or it may stay in the stomach, too long, and then you get the acid reflux, or it may digest and go down and it's not completely digested.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah, so exactly. A little bit. Yeah.
So this is a great question. So basically, first we don't chew enough, so it's not break down properly. Then it's come to the stomach. And again, you're not focused on eating, and you're not calm. And those, for example, proteins won't be break down completely break down into the amino acids that goes into the guts. So the problem with the immune system, it's not problem, it's reality. With the immune system is if we don't break down food into for example, proteins into the amino acids, our immune system sees that as a threat. So that's why we have lots of, people have IBS. Basically, it's inflammation. So one of the very important thing here is, beside what you eat, when you eat, is as well how you eat. And why people don't know about this? Well, nobody talks about this that much. I think that's the reason.
Yeah.
We don't learn this in school. We don't learn, in our families, and that's fine. That's why we're here, to educate people if they want to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I always encourage folks, it's so sad to me that when you go out to dinner and you see a family sitting there and they're all on their phone.
Yeah.
I'll never forget this one restaurant that I saw. It was fabulous. On every little table, they had a box, and it says cell phone box. Please be present. Put your phone in the box. And I was like, yes.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah. There was another coffee shop that I saw that had a sign out front that says, "We do not have Wi-Fi. Pretend it's 1980. Talk to people."
Yeah. Chris, I believe there's going to be more and more of these places. Yeah.
So tell me what happens. So this is tied to the emotions, right? And to the feelings that you're having. Tell me what is happening on the opposite side. Let's say you sit down and have a family meal and there's no TVs on, there's no cell phones on the table. Maybe you have some, nice, quiet music playing in the background.
Yeah.
And you're engaging in conversation. What is happening then in the body?
So before we go there, let's talk about this. So in my opinion, most of the adults, they shouldn't, so we can agree, disagree, okay. They shouldn't eat 6 times per day.
Oh, yeah.
Snacking all, okay, thank you. Great. So, because that tells me, what kind of food they eat. So let's say I usually suggest 2-3 meals per day, 3 meals. I don't think adults should have more. So think about this. There's food in front of you. It took a while for the universe to basically create that out of nothing. And somebody put so much effort to grow that, to take care of that, to bring it basically on your plate. Plus, you have to invest your time, money to get it.
Right.
So you have basically food in front of you, and if you're not paying attention on that, you're not appreciating this. Appreciation is a nice emotion to have, and we should remind ourselves to have this emotion as much as possible. So we should appreciate first what we have. I'm joking with my clients in the clinic. I'm not joking, I'm serious, but I tell them, when I give them herbs, I tell them, talk to your herbs.
Yeah, it's like talk to your plants, right? They used to say talk to your plants.
Yeah, they like the music there. So, sometimes I talk, but I talk inside, when I grabbing the food from the fridge. Oh, nice, look at you, so beautiful. So yeah, I like to have those conversations. So seriously, instead of thinking about something, focus on what you have. So as we said, it takes lots of effort for the universe to give us. Then you have to cook that, because I recommend people to cook at home as much as possible, and which is great. It's nice time to spend. It's very creative, could be. And then that's on your plate, and then you watch something else. It's so one more analogy I like to use with how our mind and emotion can distract us from the present moment is think about this. I use analogy of a laptop, and now they're more advanced, but back in the days, if you have all programs on your laptop open at the same time and then running, it's the processing of everything's going to be slow, and then laptop starts to warm up as well. So basically this happens with us as well. So less energy to run program, less energy basically to digest as well. So what's happening opposite? Well, happens miracles. First, you have this emotion of appreciation. Then you can actually hear people that you live with, even if you're alone, you can, focus on the smell, focus on the color. Maybe you can think about it a little bit. Where is this food coming from? Maybe you can think about it, how you can improve to cook maybe better, maybe something different. So all these, I'm not against the mind. Mind is good when you use the mind. Problem is when mind use you, which is most of the time. Okay.
Yeah.
So mind is great tool, yeah, but you have to use the mind, otherwise it's usually mess. So this happens while you sitting, and if you have family, basically you talk. It doesn't have to be serious conversation.
Yeah, conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you talk, maybe sometimes you don't talk, but really, like, just what to do? Nothing. Turn off the TV, move the devices away. And we have 2 kids, and it's not easy because these devices are really distracting us, and they want to watch and eat, and that's always. Nowadays it's a little bit less, but before, in one moment, was very intense. I want to watch, and just we have rules.
Yeah,
you cannot watch. That's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be my suggestion. Think about this. You eat 2-3 times a day. Just focus on that, and it's gonna benefit you. You will chew more. You will give your body information. Okay, everything is fine. I can sit, and I can start to have start of the optimal digestion of this food. And when that goes into the stomach appropriately, and stomach starts to work, and when you finish that part, don't worry about your intestines. You don't worry about secreting bile. You're not doing that. Body does it on its own. But you have to give body these simple conditions so this starts. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
I was just thinking, when you said that, I was thinking, when you're present with, even if, like, I'm the cook in the house, right? So when you're present with the food that you're preparing, and like you said, being grateful and thankful, which I am, that we get such great choices of organic food here. A lot of places don't have that. And you're cooking this, and you're putting, it's just me and my husband. So, I'm putting care into the meal, when I'm cooking it, and it sometimes depends on what I'm cooking, right? May take an hour to make dinner.
Yeah.
And, so to take an hour to make dinner and then have somebody sit down and watch TV while they're eating it, that would be so almost offensive to me.
Yeah.
Because they're not present with the food. So my husband and I turn on the music. We always have something playing in the background. Usually it's some, jazz or, something like that, just soothing music. And because I work from home and he's retired, we're together most of the time. So we don't always have a conversation about something.
Yeah.
Because we're in the house together all day, but we want to be still present with our food, and he appreciates that I make a meal every night. And so I think that's really important. And I think that the whole body system, like you said, I don't know that people make the connection between the brain and the emotions and what's going on up here, and let's say your stomach acid.
Yeah.
But if you tell people, have you ever heard of anybody getting a stress ulcer? And they're like, oh yeah. Well, where'd the stress come from?
Yeah.
So the connection between the brain and the digestive system is a huge pathway. And then further on down, of course, you get into the small intestine. And like you said, you've got bile being produced from the gallbladder and enzymes from the pancreas, and all these things are happening. But it starts with the chewing, breaking down, like you said, in the saliva and in the amylase, breaking down those carbohydrates, and then getting in the stomach. And you talked about breaking down the protein in the stomach, which is really broken down in the stomach. And that goes back to the immune system. And again, this is where we love to educate people, because I don't think they really understand how important protein is for their immune system. And getting those amino acids broken apart in the stomach so the body can utilize them. so tell the audience a little bit about how important it is that their protein get broken down in their stomach properly for their immune system, because we're heading into the fall months again and cold and flu season and all that stuff. Yeah, so share a little bit about how important protein is for the immune system.
Because amino acids are basically building blocks. Building blocks, you need amino acids, sometimes certain types of cholesterol. Think about that. And so cells needs some material to be built and maintained, because they're constantly recycling most of the time. But if you don't have those small little bricks, you cannot build the house properly. Because think about it, you have some big unevenly shaped pieces of concrete. So now you have to somehow assemble those. That's very difficult. It's not efficient. You need to have those little small ones. But how to get those? Basically, you have to. It's again starting with stomach acid. Do you know that? I'll share something with you. You maybe know, maybe not. I didn't know this I just recently learned this, maybe last year. Stomach acid in humans is even stronger than in lions, carnivores, wolves.
Wow,
it's strong like in the vultures, like basically, how do you call that? Scavengers.
Yeah.
Why? Because you need to break down those proteins properly, because they're breaking down in this. So that's amazing. That was amazing me. And but what's going on now? Improper food combinations. Again, watching something, being completely distracted from what you're eating, and this over prescriptions of antacids. So you are completely, I will use this word because I think it should be appropriate. You're screwing up your digestion from beginning.
Big time.
Like a big time. And then we're talking now about those small little beautiful complex immune system that has no chance, because what are you providing? How you can provide those cells to be rebuilt, to repaired, and oh my God, that's so complex. We don't know much. We don't know everything, as you know. But like, keep it simple, okay? What you eat is important, but how you eat is as well important. And it shouldn't be. I believe it's not so difficult. Just keep it simple. Turn off. Appreciate what you eat. Your mind's gonna run all the time. You just go back again. Everybody talk about spirituality. Just listen. Great. Connect yourself with the plate every day.
Yeah, there you go.
You're gonna elevate yourself spiritually a lot.
Well, and a lot like we do in our home, we say grace. We are thankful. We're thanking the Creator for the food that we have before.
That's great.
We do that before every meal, and I'll do that even when I'm out in a restaurant or something. We'll stop and do it. And what I'm loving is I have grandchildren and I have great grandchildren now. And we just had we had them all in the house last weekend for Labor Day weekend. And we had meals together, and we hold hands, and those little kids, a little 4-year-old is so precious because she wants to say grace. And so I feel like we're teaching them early. First of all, we're giving thanks for the food that's here. And then we're eating at the table together with no devices on and no TV on or anything. We're having a conversation with 3 generations, which is very rare anymore. It just doesn't happen. And to me, it is an incredible blessing. I just feel every time we have a meal together and I get to prepare a meal for my family like that, it's like, I believe this is the way it used to be, and we've lost this. We've really lost this in the busyness and the computers and the iPads and the cell phones and in the car and eating at your desk at work. This is something a lot of my clients I talk about, like, you get a lunch break. They pay you to go to have lunch somewhere. Leave. Get out of that office, right?
Or don't eat. Skip.
You don't.
Fast. I'm serious. Like it's better not to eat.
It's better not to eat.
Yeah, one more thing I will add. First, this is amazing that you have your whole family, and that little 4-year-old grandkids is going to learn this from you, and that's all that's the point of family and union.
Yes.
One more thing, one simple advice as well for your clients and people that work: eat when you're hungry.
Yeah.
Because I talk to my clients and they say, I eat, and so, are you hungry in that time? No. Okay. And then I tell them, if it's noon, if it's lunchtime, if you're not hungry, don't eat. So again, depends. Some people are hungry in the morning, So that would be one very simple, I would say, longevity hack strategy. Eat when you're hungry. But like, you really want to feel that emptiness. You don't want to listen to this, I'm hungry at 10 p.m. because, my wife said something wrong today.
Oh, good point.
Or I didn't get promotion at work, or whatever happened, So you don't want to listen to that. So really, like, am I hungry? This is very easy to figure out. I'm hungry. Your stomach is empty, and you feel that. Oh man, I'm hungry. So eat then.
That's a really good point, because I think, like you said, let's say at lunch, at work, this is lunchtime, 12 to 1. You go eat.
Yeah.
What if you're not hungry? Or what if you're stressed out? Like, you're really stressed out. That's not a good time to eat. So
not at all. Yeah.
One of the things during our 28-day program, we encourage people to do a 24-hour fast. And we start them off, a lot of people aren't familiar with intermittent fasting or time restricted eating. So we start them off with that in the first 3 weeks. And we, try to get them used to not eating all the time. And I think you're right about that. We have gotten so used to, I have a client right now that I'm working with that she's addicted to eating. I mean, she's just addicted to, she's afraid to get up in the morning and go 30 minutes before she will eat. So we're just working on that first 30 minutes, like, get up, have a little lemon juice and some water, and wait 30 minutes, because she is so used to getting up and eating right away. So I think that's a really good point, Dali. I think that's a really big point. There is, don't eat. What does hunger feel like? I don't know that we a lot of times know what hunger feels like, but it's a good thing to experience. I think it's okay. It actually passes. You don't have to eat. You can go without eating. It's fine.
Oh yeah, most of us have enough. Oh yeah, more than, so don't worry.
We have enough reserves to make it, no problem. Well, listen, we have a couple minutes left. This has been a great conversation. I think.
Awesome.
Here's what I want you to do for our audience. I want you to challenge them with something for this week, right? For this week, from Thursday through next Thursday, give them a challenge, what they can incorporate into their life for the next week.
Okay, so a great one. Keep it very simple. You have family, plan one meal together, either in the morning or in the evening. If you, of course, it's difficult during the day. So just explain your family first nicely what we're gonna do now. We're gonna turn off, we won't use this, and let's sit and eat. And it depends how big your kids are. They might not understand, because if they eat and they're watching something for a few years, it's addictive. It's not easy always to switch. But explain them nicely. Okay, we're going to adopt something else because it's better for us. And do it for 7 days.
Yeah.
If you're alone, if you live alone, and same thing. All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat this. I will appreciate this, and see how you feel. Do you feel fullness? I'm full, but I can run, I can play, I can do whatever I want. Or you are bloated. You want to take a nap after a meal. That's not good. That's a very simple sign that you are having digestive issues. So I believe this is a simple challenge, and then see how it's going to work for you.
Yeah. I love it. I think that's beautiful. I think that especially if you have a family, I mean, you do have to talk to those teenage kids, and they may not like it, but that's okay. They're still in your house, they're eating your food, right? So you get to say. Well, this has been wonderful. And I want to remind everyone of your website. So point up to your website there on your name.
So very simple. It's archaeolosophy.com. We are located in Toronto. We have one of the biggest clinic here in the area. And we are using very simple. We're using Chinese medicine and nutrition to help people to achieve their goals. Yeah, so they can contact us there if they have any questions. Yeah.
And your wife does some virtual work.
Yes, as well. Yeah, Nata is having her virtual business as well, and but they can contact us through this email, and then we can start from there.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, we just thank you so much for joining us today. This has been delightful, and blessings over you and your family. And we will have you back. I think this could be, we could go down all kinds of different rabbit holes.
Okay.
Really
I like
fun.
to talk about this a lot. So
yes, very good topic and very, very important. I really believe it is important. As you work with clients and I work with clients, this is a big issue.
yeah,
Getting people to slow down long enough to eat
exactly.
and process
And
their food.
if our clients have some questions, they can always, we can open some new topics for them if they're interested. So yeah, we can do like that.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining us. And this is Divine Farmer Health Podcast, and we're going to be signing off. And you guys have a great rest of your week. Bye for now.